What was your most embarrassing moment? Was on an airplane years ago with my girlfriend and her parents. My girlfriend couldn't get a seat next to me and sat directly behind me. During the flight I thought I would surprise her and reach my hand back onto her knee. Slowly I kept extending it up her thigh until I heard giggling. Looked behind through the seats and saw that my hand was on the leg of the guy next to her. He saw my face and said, "I just wanted to see how far you'd go." Of course my girlfriend was in on it and started laughing along with the rest of the row. Was so embarrassed. If you ever saw Freaks and Geeks, they did a great job capturing middle school in the early 80s. There's a scene where a character is pushed out into the hallway from the locker room nude. That was a common prank in our school, except it was pushed out into the gymnasium. It was after PE, so there was rarely someone in there, but when it happened to me there was a bunch of people setting up equipment for an assembly. Being the shortest kid in your grade sucked. I was a target. I was at my friend's birthday party in high school and was super drunk. Ran up to a group of people and said, "Watch this." I then proceeded to run and dive into a bounce house only for the Velcro-lined entrance to grab my sweats boxers and pull them down to my ankles. I'll never forget the looks of horror on their faces while I lay there on my back with my legs in the air showing off all my goodies. I had a great day at a water park outdoor pool, and towards the afternoon a woman came up to me and whispered in my ear that I have a problem with my swimsuit. I reached behind and noticed a huge gap. The fabric was torn right in the middle and you could see my white, untanned ass crack. I was running around like this all day and no one said anything. Getting drunk, and crushing on a girl who sang karaoke. She sat down with her family at a table, and I approached and asked for her number. Her dad stared daggers through me, and she said my boyfriend is a DJ. That experience alone was enough to make me stop drinking. So many dumb stupid deductions. She was way out of my league anyway. I walked in on my roommate in college who was watching porn in our dorm room. As soon as I walked in I could tell he just panicked and sat there for 1 second until calmly turning the monitor off. He then proceeded to take his computer apart for half an hour, saying that he couldn't seem to figure out what was wrong with it. I cringed. One time in the cafeteria at school I went to pull off my hoodie while I was talking to my friend, and I didn't realize I also grabbed my shirt, and when I lifted my hoodie to pull it off I also lifted my shirt and flashed everyone at the table my chest, upside down face. Thank God I was wearing a bra. But everyone laughed, so that wasn't great. My favorite one was an account of an event on the work forums. A manager was working through a transaction with a couple. Whenever the man was asked a question, his wife would answer. He asked, "Does she ever let you speak for yourself?" The wife responded with, "No. Not since a stroke." Fuck. When I was younger, my mom didn't teach me how to put a pad on, and I started my period for the first time, while at school someone asked me if I spilled barbecue sauce on myself. And then during a test, my pad slipped out and fell out in front of everyone because I didn't take the wrapper off. Getting cars mixed up and jumping into the back of some stranger's car in muddy football gear. To make things worse I was zoned out, so it took me a solid 10 seconds to look up and realize that the husband, wife and their kid were staring dead at me. I still cringe to this day. I hit face first into a street light lamppost because I was staring while walking at a beautiful girl walking towards a direction where I'm coming from. It was in front of the main gate of our university. Hundreds of students saw it. My friends laughed hard as hell. Definitely when my dad found out about my not so conventional online content creation. Our family is pretty traditional, so you can imagine the shock. It was super awkward, but also a moment where I had to really stand by my choices. Embarrassed smiley face. I once tried to do karaoke to a Taiwanese nationalist song at a Chinese international student event and realized halfway through the song that the song was nationalist. I left the room halfway through the song on a first date at a fancy restaurant. Halfway through, my stomach started rumbling ominously. I rushed to the restroom, but it was too late. I had to sneak out the back in shame. Never saw her again. I said to my cousin's wife, "How's the children?" She said, "Oh, they're not here yet." Then it hit me. She just had a miscarriage not a week ago. I mistook her for another cousin's wife. It was a few days ago, when I was at work and came to notice that my bottom clothing had slipped off only after many minutes. Yes, there were few people around. So I have this issue when I'm stressed, sacred or sad I laugh. So I once laughed at a funeral. I felt so bad and I literally wanted to bury myself 6 feet under. The amount of times I have been misled into thinking someone was trying to high-five me, and then going in for it. I've wanted to die every time.